MMC TV USA. Now on POTV, Channel 100.
ආයුබෝවන් වනක්කම් MMC TV සද්ධම්ම වාහිනී USA. Glad to bring you this wonderful discussion on Sinhala and Tamil New Year custom tradition. As a first and foremost professional TV channel from here in Los Angeles, USA. Before beginning of this discussion, I would like to take this opportunity to wish you all a happy New Year who are living in Sri Lanka, and not only the Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan people who are living in different countries, and all the people who are ready to celebrate New Year according to South Asian tradition. So today, our topic, as I mentioned, is the discuss on the Sinhalese and Tamil New Year. But I know this New Year not only for the Sri Lankan and Tamil people, but all the people from South Asian countries, they are ready to celebrate New Year according to our Sri Lankan tradition. So this discussion will be a wonderful opportunity for each and everyone to learn more about the traditional customs, and all the traditional activities, festivals related to the New Year. So we are at the threshold of another brand new year. When I say New Year, some of may surprise because we have already passed 4 months, because we are in April now. But that is the way we talk about the New Year, January 1st. But what is the meaning of this New Year? This is what we are going to discuss today. To discuss about the New Year according to the Sri Lankan traditional calendar, we have two distinguished monks here with us today. I would like to welcome and introduce both our distinguished monks. We have today Venerable Kurundankulame Santasobana Thera. He is the abbot of Santi Yoga Bhavana Meditation Center in Los Angeles. And also we have Venerable Suan from Nepal. On behalf of MMC TV, I would like to welcome you both, Venerables. Thank you for coming for this wonderful discussion today. I know both the Venerables are very experiential, educated monks. So I hope both the Venerable will share their experiential knowledge about the Sri Lankan tradition, New Year customs. Not only that, but because both the Venerable have enough knowledge and experience in America, Nepal, India, Bangladesh, as I mentioned, because this New Year is for all from South Asian countries. Apart from that, and why this discussion is very important. We can talk about how the Sri Lankan people who are living in different countries apart from their own country, Sri Lanka, how they celebrate, how they embrace this tradition, customs into their life, how they teach this custom and tradition to their children, next generation. This is why we are here to discuss this topic. So with that intention, I would like to talk to our venerable monks to discuss about this topic. Bhante, as I mentioned earlier, so when we talk about the New Year, usually each and everyone celebrate New Year on January 1st. Even in America, we celebrate in a grand level, grand manner, the New Year, January 1st. So we are here in April this year. What is this New Year? How do you describe New Year according to Sri Lankan traditional calendar?
Thank you very much, Venerable Sir.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I take this opportunity to wish all the Sri Lankans and all our listeners around the world, wish you very happy New Year, and may all the success and prosperous be upon you. And it's a very good question, because most of the time we have this question when it comes to our Sri Lankan New Year celebration. Actually, when it comes to world, as we know, when we go back to the world history, we can see the Western world and the Eastern world. So in the Western world, this numerical calendar, they follow this numerical calendar, and according to that, the January 1st, we celebrate as the New Year, the beginning of the year. And it's now it is very common, but if we go into the very the meaning of that, we can see it's kind of like more, it take like a festival style, and it 31st night, and then after that we have the fire celebrations, and then people go back to work.
Right.
But when we go to the Eastern countries, it is little bit more different. And this New Year is more than, it's not only a kind of like a festival, it is a kind of like a celebrating life, and at the same time it's giving a complete new beginning and give a new meaning to life, and uplifting our awareness with connection to the communities and the society, and at the same time it has a deeper connect to respect to the nature. So if I take some time and go into the beginning, so this New Year, the Eastern New Year is based with the sun, and so lunar calendar. So the sun, actually we know Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Burma, Thailand, these all countries celebrate this New Year. So when it comes to that, we all commonly, these all countries celebrate Vesak as Buddhist countries, but beyond that, I think the celebrating this New Year is the one of the oldest cultural festival that we have in the history. It has a long history. So when it comes to this celebration, it's based with the sun. Why it happened like that? It is very interesting, especially because nowadays these young children around the world and do many kind of celebrations. I think this is a very good moment for you to know why our ancestors, our grandparents, our grand-grandparents, our parents, why they keep this culture as tradition, why they preserve this method. So when it comes to life, the most important thing in our life is our breathing, right? There is nothing beyond that. If it doesn't matter, we have all these material things, if we can't breathe, then there is no acceptable life here. So the breathing is the fundamental, the source or the essence of our life.
Right.
So the breathing comes from outside, right? Breathing comes from the trees. So the trees happen because of the sun.
Right.
And not only the trees, all our food circle and all other living beings, everybody depend on sun. If I take an example, today we had the eclipse, right? So
we all were curious
all over the country. Million people came out and camping and waiting for this moment. Okay, so only for few minutes or 1 hour, maximum 1 hour, they experienced this darkness. During that darkness, some states experience very cold weather, right? Just imagine, for only 1 hour, this darkness and the cold. Just how about if the sun disappears for a few days or few years? What will happen? Right. There is no life, you know. Right. So it's all based with the sun, and at the same time, it has a deeper astrological connection to this. Right. So that as we know, the sun and the moon, this entire planetary system is moving. In the ancient time, our ancestors observed this and they recognized there is a pattern. So according to that pattern, they observe that around their nature, and they recognize all this nature becoming new, refreshed after a while. So
yes, I think you came to a wonderful point, Bhante, yes. Because Sinhalese and Tamil New Year, when we talk about that, we call the Vasanta Kala.
Vasanta Kala.
Right.
Yeah. And other thing is, this is the time we get our harvest, and then get a little rest and enjoy the harvest, and then after the New Year we start new circle. Right. You know, so the life circle. And it deeply connects with the nature, and at the same time, that life basically based with the time. We can't escape from the time. You know, when we come to the mother's womb, after 10 months, nobody can stay more than 10 months. It's very rare, you know. And after that, then by the time, everything related to the time. So as we know, most of the Eastern countries, when we born, people make a horoscope. So what is the horoscope? Horoscope means, hora means time, cope means zooming. You know, so time zooming and recognizing and know how your life going to be. Why? Because deeply we connected to the time. So the sun and the moon, this whole planetary system in a journey, and this is the time the sun start a new circle, new journey, after finishing one circle. So it is astrologically, it's from Meena Rashi to Mesha Rashi. It's transport. And in English, show that for our young children especially, that when it finish one circle and start a new circle, that is what we call New Year. So it is very important for all of us, because the human life is a very byproduct of the universe. Right? Right. So when the universe, our ancestors observe the universe and then follow the patterns, and we got the opportunity ourselves also become new. You know, so it is physically, materially, and spiritually. This is a very good moment for us to become new. It is very necessary. You know why? Because when it comes to our human life and when it comes to the nature, this accumulating, the holding, grasping, clinging nature is everywhere. You know, so it is very important for us to little bit withdraw and let go, release, and get clean and become new. So that newness is based with this. And from child to elders and in the society, for everybody, this is a very good opportunity to start a new life circle connecting with the universe.
Okay.
So it is a more deeper meaning rather than just the January 1st New Year. So our ancestors has a deeper connection with the nature, as respect into the nature, and at the same time get the best out of that natural energy, and we give a new start.
Right. Thank you, Bhante. You know, the bringing a wonderful, meaningful description to the new year, because I know this is a very remarkable moment for us to reflect on this in you know, the different perspective, right? As Bhante mentioned, you know, culturally, spiritually, socially, right? We can see this on different perspectives. As Bhante mentioned, this newness and also the connectivity with the nature, and also the meaning how our life and also the new circle beginning is a good moment for us to you know, reflect again with mindfully and wisely how we can connect with the new year. Thank you for your wonderful you know, the introduction. So as even Bhante mentioned about that, and I also mentioned earlier, when we talk about the new year according to the Sri Lankan traditional authentic calendar, this is not a Sri Lankan New Year, this is not only the Sri Lankan Tamil New Year. All the people who are coming from South Asian countries, they are already prepared to celebrate this new year. So Bhante Suan, I think you are the most suitable person in this you know, this eminent panel discussion to bring your experience, how you have enough experience in Nepal, but you have, you know, the knowledge and experience India, how Indians embrace this new year, and Bangladesh and all the South Asian countries. What is how do you explain this new year? What is your experience about, you know, the related to our traditional new year?
Yeah, thank you very much, Venerable, for the question. Yes, it's very true. We all Southeast Asian countries celebrate New Year on exact date, on April 14.
Okay.
So before colonization, all this South Asian calendar start from April 14th. So it's called a lunar solar calendar. It's a combination of moon and sun, not only the sun. Georgian calendar would start on January 1st.
Can you repeat that again? Because I think this is a wonderful statement. Lunar
solar New Year.
New Year.
So Chinese, most of the Chinese who are the upper part of the North Asian countries, they are lunar calendar. They're based on lunar calendar.
Right.
And the Georgian calendar is totally based on solar. And the April 14 calendar is based on both lunar and solar. So that's one of the important thing. And what happened during the colonization is, because of his huge colonization, political colonization, they rid away all the calendars. So we forgot our culture. But still we are remembering, still we are celebrating these cultural values, but exact our calendar start from April 14. You may be surprised, since I born in Nepal, still a lot of Nepalese people, even my parents, grandparents, they never celebrate January 1st as New Year. They don't know they are living in 2024.
Wow.
If I say I'm coming on 2024 April this and this day to home, and they say, what are you talking about? The first day of April 14 is a Vesak first day. So Vesak full moon day is celebrating the Buddha's birthday, but Vesak day start from the April 14. So in Nepalese calendar, we are celebrating 2080. Now we are in 2080 and we are heading to 2081. So they use Vikram Varsha. So a lot of the calendars, the Vikram Varsha, Saka Varsha, Ravana Varsha, all these South Asian calendars start from April 14. Even the whole system in the country. So either with the budget, even the school calendar start from April 14, not the January 1st. So whenever they need to deal with international community like America or other country, they convert their national calendar into AD, this Georgian calendar, and then use. So this culture have their wonderful celebration. So in Nepal, they call Naya Varsha, Nava. They celebrate this New Year. So just like in Sri Lanka, they gather together, they have rituals, they go to the temples and monasteries, and they do all kind of rituals. But it only lasts just 2 days, just like January 1st in Nepal. And in Bangladesh, they call it Biju New Year. So most of Buddhists and even Bengali, they celebrate Biju.
Yeah, one question, Bhante, because I know the majority in Bangladesh, their religion is Islamic,
Yeah,
right?
they are Islamic.
But still do they?
Yeah,
Oh.
because ethnically they are Bengali. Religious-wise, yes, their majority is Islam, but ethnicity is Bengali. So Bengali people celebrate, whether live in India or Bangladesh, they celebrate on 14th of April. So generally they go to the river and they clean themselves, they take a bath, and they do a lot of rituals to the river. They are very close to the river. So they have a lot of rituals regarding the river. And also in India and many parts of India, Thailand, Cambodian, they have the water rituals, just like Holi festival. They bath themselves. Even they go to temple and the temple monks make them bath. Just like in Sri Lanka, they apply oil to make them new, fresh. They use water to purify themselves. And they engage in various kind of rituals. And they start this very fresh New Year, April 14.
Okay. Yes, thank you again. I know even though you were born in Nepal, but still I know you have enough experience in Sri Lanka, right?
Yeah.
Because
by comparing with Sri Lankan and other Asian countries, since I live in India and Nepal, Sri Lankans are the people who celebrate this event wonderfully. For more than a week-long period, they have a long period before the New Year, the preparation, and during the New Year, even after the New Year, more than a week, they celebrate this New Year.
Right.
So I think Sinhalese and Tamil, in a very organized way, in a collective way, they celebrate this event wonderfully.
Right. Yeah. I know there are number of traditions, customs, rituals connected to the New Year. So it's great to talk about all those traditions, customs related to the New Year, but I don't know whether we have enough time to talk about everything. But I would like to point out some particular customs that we can see, that we can experience during the New Year period. If I come back to you, Bhante, ending the old year we call the Parana Avruddha, right? So we are still in the Parana Avruddha. The preparation is one of the most important part of the related to this New Year tradition, custom. What is your experience related to the preparation to the New Year?
Actually, Venerable Sir, when we start the New Year, especially in Sri Lanka and most of the countries, the first thing that we do, cleaning. So we start to clean the house, and some people paint the house and take all the unnecessary things. So that is a very important thing, because the most of time in our life we carry a lot of junk that around us that we don't need. Even at our house, if you look around, there are a lot of things. It is there. It takes some time, energy, space, which is not profitable for us, beneficial for us. So when it comes to New Year, within the Parana Avruddha, when the New Year, before it come, the New Year come, the very first thing, start cleaning and get rid of all the unnecessary things. And the mother is the mainly start with the New Year. So it is very important, because the mother is the main character when it comes to New Year. She is the one who start to guide everybody. Even the father is there, but the mother is get the lead.
Right.
And start with all the activities at home, get prepared, and what to cook and how to cook, and especially for making traditional sweets. And another thing is collecting everybody, the family members around us, and whoever stay away from the family. It is a tradition for the New Year, they have to go to the family. And so it is kind of like giving us an opportunity to come together. But a starting point with the Parana Avruddha, when the old year is going away, the first thing we do, I remember still, and clean, and especially that even I remember that in our house, even the temple, even the bed, the chairs, tables, everything we take out. Right. And if it is possible to wash the floor, we wash. And if it is possible to wash all the other material things, we wash, and then we select whatever we need for the New Year to get ready. So we take that whatever the necessary things to inside the house.
Right. Yes, because I am coming from a rural village in Sri Lanka. I still remember how my mother, as Bhante mentioned, throwing away, the old clay pots and bring new, clay pots to house. I have those memories still. I don't know whether, our children who are living in this country, and even the children who are living in nowadays, whether they have such experience and memories in their life, but still you remember, right?
Yeah, still they can apply in, even they living in apartment or whatever the place that wherever they are. When the New Year comes, it is a good opportunity for them to get rid of all the unnecessary things, and they can have some kind of self-discipline to start the life with this material, because the material thing is the part of our life, and it is very effective. So then New Year time give us an opportunity to get out of that all the the unnecessary things. Anybody can practice it. I think that still the most of our elders do that. And when it comes to New Year, it is very necessary as a tradition, as a culture. We have to transform it to our younger next generation.
Right.
So as elders, it is their responsibility wherever they are, even they are in Sri Lanka or out of the country or wherever they live, it is their responsibility somehow to keep practice this kind of things, because that is the only way their children can learn that.
All right. Yeah. I can imagine how people are preparing physically for the new year, before the beginning of the new year. I think, Bante, if I ask this question, how do you share your knowledge? As Bante mentioned, we have enough understanding, memories, how people are prepared for the new year physically. Is there any spiritual values? Is there any social and psychological aspect of preparation to the new year?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I would like to drag your attention to our, thousands of years back of our human evolution.
Okay.
We evolved on this planet Earth for millions of years as a collective human beings. We live since our hunter-gathering era, since Stone Age era, we live in a group, in a big community. So we know each and everyone, and we feel each other's pain, emotions, and we help each other. That's how we live for millions and millions of years. But within this 100 years, because of huge industrializations, materialistic, and also this kind of capitalistic way of living, whole our way of living, the collectiveness has gone apart. Now we are living in cells. So recently, the Surgeon General of White House of America, like the Minister of Health in America, Dr. Vivek Murthy, he was saying that America is going a huge amount of epidemic of loneliness. Every 2 or 3 out of 5 are experiencing a huge amount of loneliness. And according to WHO, World Health Organization, every 2 out of 5 are having mental health issues. They are having pills to fix their depression, their mental health issues. So why we are having this kind of mental health issues? The main issues is we are departed. We are not connected to each other. So you maybe know, when we moved to America like this, we got culture shock, right, Bante?
Right.
Although we live in our same place, same city, we don't know each other. We don't know neighbors. We never talk to the neighbors. Why? People are so afraid. Now this culture is going everywhere, widespreading everywhere in all corners of the world. The individualistic, materialistic culture. So they think that if I have money, I don't need anyone. If I have money, I can buy anything. I can buy people as a servant or slave. So I don't need anyone. So people have that mentality. So this mentality is dragging whole universe, whole mankind into huge problem. So while we are talking, in every 40 seconds, someone is committing suicide. So how can you imagine? Human beings are committing suicide because they don't have anyone to talk, anyone to connect to each other. So the New Year, especially the Sinhala Tamil or the South Asian New Year, is a very amazing start point to reconnect, refresh their connections, rebuild. So yeah, there can be a lot of social issues, since we are human beings, we have issues. So we have to refresh our relationship.
Right. Bante, yes, you came to a wonderful point in this discussion, because we know our parents, our relatives, once they celebrated the new year, they used to visit the neighbors, relatives. But I know there was, in the ancient tradition, there was a tradition what we call the Peragaman, right? So pre-visiting to the house, not only after celebrated the new year, even before the new year, right? So that's a great point, right? So that's a wonderful moment to, the build the reconnection, right? So, yeah, that's what you mentioned, right?
Yeah, that's a very wonderful way of reconnecting, and one of the main source of human happiness. We all are doing for happiness, right?
Yes.
Whatever we do, we celebrate New Year's, eclipse, so Democratic Day, whatever day, holidays, all for happiness. We travel another country, but from the recent research, maybe you have heard about one of the longest research going on in Harvard University. It started 75 years ago. They have done this research on more than 3,500 people in the United States. So the main, the theme of the research is what make human being most happy. So you may think that your fancy car, Ferrari, or your Apple phone, MacBook make you happy. Obviously, once you purchase in Amazon or your favorite platform, obviously when it arrives to your doorstep, it will make happy. But that happiness goes away. But what makes human being most happy for a long period of time is nothing this physical stuff, but healthy, qualitative relationship make human beings most happy for a long period of time. So even our Buddhist scriptures, the Kalyana Mitra, the healthy relationship make us our spiritual journey more worthy and more peaceful. In the same way, to live you don't need to be a saint or arhat to be happy. Just even to live a general healthy life, you need a healthy quality relationship. So this new year, as you say, the Peragaman, Pasugaman, all this making your relationship more healthy and more quality. It doesn't matter how many followers you are in your Facebook or Insta. Nowadays we count on our like and followers.
Right. I'm sorry, Bhante, because I know both of you have, vast knowledge on these traditions. I would love to hear from you more, but we have a lot of things to discuss, right, Bhante? Yes, another, the important customs, traditions that we see during the New Year, especially between the New Year and the Old Year, Paranavruddha and Alvut Avruddha. The time between these two is very important, what we call the Punya Kalaya, right? So, Bhante, what is actually the Punya Kalaya?
Actually, Venerable Sir, before I go to that, I want to add something to our Venerable Sir, because when it comes to success and happiness, it is very necessary for human life. Everybody look for that. But one of the mistake most of the people do from the history, even in the Eastern countries, that it is very important to listen to these young children and whoever, even for some parents, most of them think success or the happiness, they think following the Westerners, they are success. But it is not that.
Yeah.
So your success, you cannot be somebody else. You can't follow somebody else and find the success. No. Be as who you are and develop your qualities. So like that, each and every culture has their own way of development. So then if the person capable to develop that way, I think that then most of people can find a very meaning to their life, and that meaning will give a purpose to themselves.
I also want to add to this point. As you said, the development is measured by the GDP, how much of amount each person earning. But now the Western society has understood that we are in a trap. It's a huge trap. We are consuming all the resources available in this planet Earth because of huge amount of capitalization, dragging all the minerals, the material things.
Right.
They produce more than we need, and we are in trouble. We have huge waste, and also we don't have enough resources to survive now.
Is that the tendency of greediness?
Exactly, Venerable. Yeah, because now what's happening is whole world, not only the Western world, even now the Eastern, the spiritual world, now they are looking, as Bhante says, coming to the Western world and trying to copy the Western lifestyle just to buy the fancy car, fancy app, mobile, materialistic. But now the Western world, some of the intellectuals, they have understood, no, we are in the trouble. especially intellectual scientists. Now they come to Asia to study Asian spirituality, especially Buddhism, Taoism, Hinduism, yoga. Now they understood that developing our mind and healthy relationship is the most make us more happy rather than all these physical junks.
And if I go back to that Punya Kala,
Right.
so that is very important point, because now once we have the transition from old year to new year, we're going to start something new. So this is very important to know from our ancient time. So whatever we start, our life based with the spiritual foundation.
Exactly.
You know, so that is what most of time we forget. You know, we study and we want to become rich and we want to find a nice job and we want to live somewhere properly, but sometimes we see people climb so high, but suddenly they collapse. They cannot handle some kind of turbulence or the problems or the situations when the life go high. As example, money. You know, the money is very necessary. Becoming rich is a talent. You know, there are a lot of pressure. So even that whatever the success you gain, it's not going to be a kind of like a very beautiful path for anybody. It's always going to be a challenge and there are difficulties going to come in day-to-day life. So if you have the enough spiritual foundation, you are capable to handle. As example, high-rise building. Maybe it go higher, you can see it is lot of, you know, that it goes so high, but maybe we don't see the foundation, right? But still that unseen foundation hold that the building.
Right.
Same like when we start something, our grandparents.
Yes, when you talk about the foundation,
Yes.
here we are living in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
We always have kind of fear of earthquake, right?
Earthquake,
These
yes.
days we have more concern about the foundation, strong foundation.
Strong foundation. Yeah. And that's why Punya Kala is before we start our new year. We go with our grandparents. I still remember with all the children and come to temple with their parents, grandparents, everybody. And it doesn't matter whoever, they go to their own religious practice place and they do whatever the religious activities and get prepared for new things. So that is very necessary in day-to-day life. Even every day when we go to sleep, are we preparing for the next very fresh day? You know, so and when we going to do something, are we preparing with the spiritual foundation? So we have to think about it. That is where in our culture, in our tradition, have this greater strong foundation to build our life with spiritual foundation. Because when the life move forward, as we all knows, it is not a fancy, beautiful journey. It's going to be always difficult. So then you have to be a kind of like a strong person to go with that all the difficulties rather than complaining or collapsing or crying or blaming to each other. No. So that is why this Punya Kala is something very beautiful that we can see that how our ancestors, they designed this life, connecting with the nature to build up a very strong, profitable, complete person to the society.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yes, that is great. Spiritual foundation, as Bhante mentioned, is very important in each and everyone's life, go forward. So, Bhante, Punya Kala, what is your experience in Nepal? Do you have the similar kind of tradition? And also, I would like to add to that question more about, Bhante already mentioned about the social and especially the spiritual and psychological aspect of this Punyakalaya, right? So, we Buddhists actually, we encourage all the people to visit the temple and associate the noble friends, the Kalyana Mitra, venerable monks, the do punya, right? The merits whenever get the opportunity in their life, right? Not only for the new year, right? So, what is your experience regarding these customs?
Yeah, thank you very much, Venerable. Yes, back into my country where I born, in Nepal, yes, they do have this culture. When the New Year arrives, they go to the Hindu or Buddhist temple and do all kind of rituals collectively. They don't go just by themselves. The meditation, these rituals, all done in a collective way.
You mean the whole family?
Whole family,
Oh, okay.
relatives, they go to the temple, their monasteries, and they purify their karma. So even Hindus, they believe in karma. So
Yeah, one more question, sorry. I know in the Nepal, the majority of Buddhist people, they are following the Vajrayana tradition,
Yes,
right?
Venerable.
Even in the Vajrayana, people who are coming from that background, still they are following this as a, the culture?
yeah, most of even Vajrayana Buddhists, they start the New Year on April 14, and now there's some Himalayan region, of Nepal and Ladakh and Bhutan, they celebrate lunar calendar, Chinese New Year. But even in their New Year, they go to temple. They are always connected to the spirituality. Whatever they do, they're connected. So spirituality doesn't only mean, doing puja, rituals, even, non-Buddhists. Even nowadays, the secularism is very popular nowadays in the West. Even in our countries, the secularism, our young generation especially, they don't want to go to church or temple. They feel boring. The sermon of the priest is so boring. They feel sleep. So even for them, they can do spiritual practice. Spiritual means you purify your mind. You can help to your homeless person. You can do a lot of charity work. So spirituality is not just going to temple or doing the rituals, but especially this New Year will teach you how to do in a collective way. So, if you want to be, for example, if you want to be a better swimmer, but better athletic, you have to be in a group. You have to be in the swimming pool. Then only you will learn how to swim better.
Right.
So, temple is a very great place. Monastery is a very great place. Church even, to practice in a collective. And you will learn. If you want to be a good swimmer, you have to be trained in a swimming pool, in a controlled environment. And once you go back to the tidal waves, as Venerable says, there are a lot of ups and downs. No matter you want to live so peacefully, there's always ups and downs in your life. So the training inside this controlled environment like a temple during Punyakalaya will teach you, you can learn how to do merits, purify your mind, your heart, more generate love and compassion. Nowadays, we need a lot of compassion. See what's happening in Gaza, in Ukraine. While we are talking, thousands of people are dying because of malnutrition, of bombardment. So we need more love and compassion rather than earlier. So we don't need another third world war or the nuke war. All we have nukes, as Venerable, you know that. Nukes mean nuclear weapons. A lot of these big countries, they have the nuclear power. Even just pressing a button will destroy the entire world, Earth. We have only Mother Earth, even though Elon Musk is building a spacecraft to take us to another planet, but we have this only Earth. So we need to develop our mind, our heart, purify all these scenery thing, a lot of impurities, hatred, anger, jealousy. So New Year is the place you can burn those all negative qualities and you unify yourself, energize yourself with love, compassion, and sharing. So after Punyakalaya, people go to home. Even when you go to temple, you bring a lot of goods to the monks, offerings. You learning how to give away.
Right. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, Punyakalaya doing merits is not only for the new year, right, Bante? Because I remember those days, even our ancestors, our parents, grandparents, at our home, we had the time to, gather together with all the family members in the evening, right, Bante? So worship together, paying homage to the Buddha together with our parents and elders together. So that spiritual foundation is very important, starting from the New Year day and continue in day-to-day life every day, right? So it's helpful for us to, maintain our daily activities with that strong spiritual foundation. Great, actually, to bring this wonderful experience from both of your ends to this wonderful discussion. Again, now, once we, done with the Punya Kalaya, so New Year dawn, right? It's happening. So we all have, the childhood experience and the memories in our life, right? We are very joyful, happy mood. We are in happy mood when the new year beginning, right? So what is actually the, what is your experience, and how do you explain the welcoming new year? Is there any particular custom, tradition to welcome New Year?
So actually, Venerable Sir, when it comes to New Year, so that everything start with the new timing, So it is a kind of like giving us opportunity to give a new start and refresh ourselves, and with the new cloth, with the new colors, and with the new timing, with new vision, we go into new life.
New life, right.
So in that very moment, when the new year start, we remember we put the firecrackers and start to enjoy it, and then whoever, that maybe we had that people, we used to be angry and not happy, but once the new year comes, that everything disappears. So we become kind of like let go that all what happened and give a new start. And during that time, it is one of the important thing that especially eating time, a very auspicious time for everything, to eat, and we respect to our elders, if they are grandparents, our parents, and we worship them and get the blessings from them, and we start the journey. It gives a great confidence for us for entire life, the entire year. And at the same time, I remember, like before the auspicious time comes, we are not allowed to eat anything, right? And sometimes it is hungry, we have to keep waiting till the time comes. So it is one of the great quality that we call nowadays that delay gratification. So rather than jumping and having things, and when we want something we have it, no, we are able to handle that our deeper emotions, and it gives us great self-discipline. And at the same time, it is very important when these children become younger, when the situations come, they are capable to handle themselves, their own emotions.
Wow.
And that is very, because nowadays what we see with this machines and technology, we can't escape from this. We have to live with this. We have to accept it. Nothing wrong with that, anything. But still, we have to remember there are already antidote in our culture, tradition. We can deal with these things if we practice that. So if we bring that discipline, and during the New Year time, all this auspicious time, and following that rituals and discipline and everything, it gives us a very clear mind and a strong mind with the self-discipline, and Even though for that moment it is very difficult to hold and wait and stay hungry, and maybe we are not happy with our parents, because we want to eat. They not allow us to eat, right? But after the New Year, when we look back, it makes us happy because somehow we able to do that.
Yes.
So that is a good lesson for all of us, because in day-to-day life, sometimes when situations come, when the emotions high, we think, oh, I have to do this, I want to get this. And sometimes we have no patience, we have no ability to hold this. So see that during that New Year, when we start new journey, it has a deeper meaning behind it to build up a clear, good character, right?
That's a good point, Ven.Rajagiriye.
Yes.
You point out the emotions. Nowadays we are living AI, ChatGPT is everywhere. We cannot avoid, as Ven.Rajagiriye says. The emotional intelligence is very important, as Bhante mentioned, the delayed gratification. Nowadays we don't feel happy, although New Year comes, because we instantly get whatever we want in Amazon or Walmart. So, but back in our past, I remember we used to wait for a year to get a new cloth and to eat a good food. And we enjoy the making the food. I used to remember our grandparents, they, how they harvest, how they plant the plant first, the rice paddies, and how they harvest and how they bring to the home and how they make it powder. And how we enjoy the whole process of making the food and how it's come to the table. We know and we feel enormous amount of gratitude to the farmers because our parents are farmers.
Right.
We all are agricultural societies. So we enjoy the food and the life. And also what the most important thing I like about this childhood memory is a gift and games. The outdoor games are so amazing. People, play games not to win the first, second, third position, but to, socialize. People doesn't care about prize very much in the games.
It builds the unity, right?
Unity.
Right.
So there is no about meritocracy in the game. No jealousy, no anger, no fighting. Just play sake of playing. And this Aurudu and this gift are so amazing memory of mine.
Right. Yeah. So, yes, as both of the Bhantes mentioned, gratitude, paying gratitude is one of the great human qualities that we all need to have, right, the whole in our life. There is a wonderful opportunity to experience how hard it is to, grow the harvest and bring to home their own home houses, right? And so thereby we can, internally feel how they are dedicating their life, how our parents dedicating their life to produce this food, right? So we have the gratitude for our parents, elders, farmers, not only the people, but still to the universe, right? The nature. And Bhante, do you remember any the name of the traditional food that you your parents prepared, the milk, rice?
So actually, when it comes to New Year, the konda kawung is one of the best cookies.
Okay.
Because the konda kawung, it takes time to make and it needs a kind of like a special skill.
Right.
Every day you can't make it.
Right. Yeah. Yes. I feel kind of sorry for our children who are living in these countries, right? Because we still remember how we were sitting around when our parents are preparing oil cake, kaung, cookies, and other, all the traditional foods for the New Year. So we were able to see how they are preparing, how they make those food. But nowadays I can see how, even because of the busy schedule, I think, right? Even their parents have no opportunity no time to prepare themselves for their family, but still they buy from the the shop or some places. They order for those kind of things. Yes. And one thing I wanted to point out during this period, especially in the New Year day, So, the offering beetles to the parents, right? Is there any, both of you can, explain a little bit about, what is the spiritual values, what is the social values, what is the, psychological values that you see in this tradition?
Actually, when it comes to beetle, in the ancient time, before this tobacco come to the society, so it's a kind of like something they use to energize themselves. It used to be everywhere, wherever you go, and it used to be available, and it's kind of like giving water, to greet somebody, welcome somebody. When you go to a house, giving the beetle is kind of like something welcoming, and it used to be kind of like a sign that we share that our joy, our happiness. It's the same like the food. When we come to friends, if we are sharing our food, it's showing the bond and it shows our friendship. So like that, I think when it comes to socially, the most of time that they used to have it for themselves, they used to eat it always, and whatever they eat, if they share, they become friends. So it is one thing that what I think during that time, and at the same time there are many kind of stories behind this beetle. It came from the kind of like the Nagaloka, and there are some, because it has some kind of a spiritual background and different stories. Nothing wrong with it. Why? When it comes to the society, the culture, everything is stories.
Of course.
Everything is a story. So only thing is, if that story bring us some kind of meaning and nourish us and give us a kind of like a foundation to harness with others, and then it's good. We need that kind of stories.
Yes, of course. I agree to Venerable Sir. Everyone is telling the story. It doesn't matter who told, when told. Nowadays, we all want to see from scientific point of view. How this possible in this world. The most important, as you say, Bhante, is what it makes change. How we see our character in those stories. That's the most important. Because we evolve as storytelling beings. Our grandparents told story to our parents, and our parents told story to us. And the whole the mankind, humanity, based on storytelling. So even the science is type of storytelling. The scientists are telling a story what they see through their microscope to the new generation.
Right. Yeah, we talk about paying gratitude on the New Year Day, and we stress a little bit about the traditional food that we see on New Year Day, and also respecting elders, as you mentioned. And another thing I remember, the Ganodenu Kirima, engagement with the business, right? What does it mean?
Before we go to business, I want to talk about food a little bit. So when it comes to our culture, our tradition, and always we have a great history related to food, and we have the best spices in the world, and but most of time what we see nowadays, that people think when it comes to food, they think the fried rice and kottu.
That's a very funny thing.
Yeah, they think that is what most of the people believe. No, you have to moderate your food circle, and you have to remember that whatever that you eat, it affects for your body, it going to become you in the very next day. So then it is your personal responsibility. It is nothing to do with the politics, or it is nothing to do with the money, or it's nothing to do with the other social background. When it comes to food, it is your personal discipline and responsibility to find the right thing for you to eat. So when it comes to New Year, that's why we start with the milk rice. So that is one of the best thing to nourish our body, not only the body, as we know, it nourishes our mind also, brain, you know. So then nowadays in the pharmaceutical industry, it is very famous, this brain medications, you know. So actually when it comes to our traditional foods, there are many things. So then people need to think about that. And in the ancient time, in our culture, our tradition, with this new year, with our this food circle, they already included this everything, and the coconut, and most of other sweet products, and everything very organic, and people used to do that. Of course, there are some economical difficulties in the society nowadays, we know that, but still, when it comes to food, it's our self-discipline.
Right.
You know?
Yes, that is great, right, Bhante? Because it helps us to practice kind of mindful eating habit,
and
right?
also, Venerable, this need versus desire. We are often confused because we are looking a lot of advertisement. You know, when we scroll your social media, your mobile, or TV, or internet, you are always there bombarded with advertisement. They say you have to eat this food, then only you become the macho man or superman. And we start to eat all this junky food.
Right.
And we don't know, is my need or desire? Need is a healthy food, and desire is those things which you get from these companies.
Right. Yes, reflecting on the food habits, food culture, and as Bhante mentioned, the fried rice and the kottu, right? So this is yes, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to reflect on the healthy food, right?
Yes. Because we
which
already
food
have in our culture, our tradition.
Right.
So it is our parents, their responsibility, little bit somehow to give it to children sometimes. Maybe it take time little bit, but at the same time, and health-wise, it adds some good benefit for us, right?
Right. Yes. So yes, Bhante, as
and the business, when it come to that, our culture, our tradition, it is nothing to do with money when it come to business. That is one of the major misunderstanding in the society nowadays. People think business means money. No, our parents, we remember they used to go and do the ganadunu, or the business with the water, the well. And they go to the farmland and they used to do farming and start with that. Whoever study, the children, they start to do with some reading and books and that kind of things. So we have to remember that our success or our development or out of the business, the very meaning is gaining. So the gaining always come out of the nature. So then we have to be humble, we have to respect, and we have to protect the nature. If the nature and nowadays it's a big topic about the global warming, So see, if the nature go out of balance, forget about other things, right? So then we are responsible. Right? We are part of the nature. So the business mean in our culture, in our tradition, take care of the nature and have the connection and deeper understanding, and protecting the nature is the real business.
Yeah, in this moment I got it sparked a thought of Mahatma Gandhi. I remember he says that the Mother Earth has enough resources to nourish each and everyone's need, but not the desire of one single person. The desire is becoming so big.
Right.
Even the Buddha, he has mentioned that even if you just break a leaf of a tree, you are not a good friend. You are disaster to the Mother Earth. So yes, very true. We need to protect this Mother Earth. Because of this heavily industrialized capitalist society, we are consuming each and every resources. And nowadays, the statistics shows that less than 1% of human population is controlling nearly 70% of human resources. So what happened to the rest? So other rest, nearly 30% have to share among the 90%. So we have a huge unbalance. So as Bante mentioned, very good topic, good point, that we always compare our success based on our money, how many cash in your bank. But it's not the bank balance. It's about how you utilize the resources in a very harmonious way. This is a holistic, mindful conservation of the nature is important. So mindful conservation of nature.
Right. Yes, there are enough teaching from the Buddha, right, to manage our, the ecology system, and also how to manage what we are earning in our life. But unfortunately, we don't have enough time to talk much about from the Buddhist scriptures. But still, we remember, on the New Year day, exchanging money, the at least coins, right? Receiving money, coins from our elders, and someone who, achieve their success in their life, right? One particular main character in the village, on the house, right? Yes, there are, as both you mentioned, there are a number of, the customs.
So, right? I want to mention about this giving gift, and because it is very good things to practice. The whoever receive the gift need to give back something. Okay, and when they give back, always they have to give something more valuable than they receive. So I think they can practice now.
Right, yeah. Yes, there are a lot of customs to talk about that. Yes, by the time we are discussing all about this New Year customs and tradition, MMC TV USA has already organized 2 New Year celebration festivals, one in Sri Lanka and one here in America, Los Angeles, to bridge both the Sinhalese, the traditional games and customs, and to, show how Sri Lankan American who are living in the Los Angeles, how they celebrate New Year. So it would be a great opportunity to, connect both the countries together to teach our future generation children these wonderful cultural events, festivals, tradition. Why I wanted to mention this, because we talked about little bit about the 4 games earlier. The purpose, actually I would like to talk a little bit more about what is the purpose of having such a games in this New Year festivals. Bante,
actual Venerable Sir, when it comes to life, it is physical. It all depends on the physical strength. Even from animal to human, when it comes to whoever is stronger, they're going to win, right? So it's a kind of, when it comes to games, it is very important. From our culture, we have tradition, whole village, everybody come together and play. We used to do that, and then whoever stronger, people can see that, and at the same time, that whatever there is, even though for the game there is a winning and losing, in life they are capable to balance that both. But nowadays what is happening, we can see sometimes there are some people, and even there are some countries, they are not capable to handle the lose. When it comes to games, sometimes the very big, even the World Cup, sometimes we see, if they lose, if they destroy everything. Right. Why? Because when they think everything need to be win. No, life is not like that. So in our tradition, we see that everybody play together, and at the same time, It is an opportunity for them to show their skills. It is very necessary when it comes to the society to understand the whoever the stronger people, because it's a part of the society. And at the same time, it gives self-value to ourselves, how capable we are to do. Because most of the time, people play themselves in their mind. I can do this, I used to do that, I can run this far, but when they come to the ground, they can't do anything, right? So it is a give opportunity for them to understand who you are. And at the same time, it is very important during nowadays, even that Venerable Sir organizing this festival here in Los Angeles. This is very necessary for children, because now in the society, one of the major problem that most of people make sick is sitting. People used to sit and maybe 6 hours, 8 hours, and without moving. When they sit like that, what happened? Their heart become weaker.
Sitting with device.
Device. And other thing is, when it comes to games, now most of children think the computer game is the game. No. There is something, you can go to the other people and you can play with others. It is very necessary to move our body. So this gaming culture gave us a great opportunity to move each other physically and come together, and at the same time, winning or losing, it doesn't matter, because end of the day, we all are in the same family, same village. So whoever win, we happy to see them, we appreciate them. Whoever lose, it's okay, because I lose for my brother or the sister or my neighbor, or kind of like that. They're able to handle that. That's why I think most of the time in our countries, and still we see sometimes, like when it comes to this cricket match, sometimes still our audience capable to handle the lose. But we see there are some big countries play footballs, and when they lose, and everything destroyed. So it is give a good opportunity for them to learn and get learn the balance. And it is very necessary emotionally, and at the same time physically. To become a strong person is very necessary for themselves personally, and for the society, and for the nation, and even for the world. So when it comes to health, it is your personal responsibility. Do some sport, especially young. Do some sport, go to the gym, practice yourself, and be healthy yourself. It is for you, because if you get sick, just imagine in a family, if somebody gets sick, the whole family get paralyzed.
Right.
No one can, enjoy the life. So then it is your personal responsibility to be healthy. That's why during the New Year festival time, everybody come, play, enjoy, and at the same time, it has an opportunity for them to become healthy. So continue that.
Right. Yes. Winning is not only the purpose of the games, right?
That's right.
Right. So there are physical benefits. And also, Bhante, you mentioned earlier the unity is another important purpose of having these games, right? I know, even though you born in Nepal, but still you grew up in Sri Lanka. You have enough experience. We all have, kind of a negative, kind of painful, emotional, painful experience because of 30 years war between, the Sri Lanka Sinhalese people, the rebellions with the rebellions, Tamil rebellions, right? I know there are many reasons behind all these stories, but still, would you like to give kind of not the advice. Would you like to remind our people, how to make use of this new year to, enhance the unity between two races, religious harmony, and how do you remind the people at this moment?
Thank you very much, Venerable. I experienced that devastating, deadly war. I have seen many casualties. Even I experienced a very near bomb blasting when I was going to school in Colombo. So there is a huge wound, although it's over in 2000, I remember 2009, but the mental war is not over. Still there are a lot of pain, both sides, not only the Sinhalese or Tamil, both sides, there are a lot of pain. I mean, there are another minority too, Muslims. They have a lot of wounds inside us. So when we carry this wound, we cannot, get close to each other. We always suspect each other. We have always doubt about each other. And when you have a doubt, you have fear, you don't share the resources. One of the main problems of any kind of political issues, the geography is the resources. Who share the resources? So if you have a doubt, if you have no any friendliness, loving kindness toward your next neighbor, ethnic group, then how can you share your resources? So New Year, so this is an amazing moment for every Sri Lankan, Sinhalese and Tamil to renew, refresh their relationship and forget about those wounds. Yes, it happens. We cannot delete the history. It happened, but it's our responsibility to heal those trauma, let go those trauma, and reestablish and live this wonderful, beautiful, peaceful country. If someone asks you to, where do you want to live, Venerable? And my first answer will come, Sri Lanka. I feel more home in Sri Lanka. How peaceful this nation was before. How they are united and how they, living very harmonious. It's very, naturally it's beautiful, ethnically, culturally, and spiritually, they're living together. Although the Buddhists are majority of the country, anyone can allow them to live and practice their religion peacefully. So in international world, the Sinhala Buddhists are often seen as, they are bad people, majority, they are ruining others' life of minority. It's not true. I have lived with Sinhalese for more than 28 years. And still I'm living with Sinhalese community. They're so kind, they're so compassionate. But only because of the political reasons, they are so fed up with each other. And still, they see each other as enemies. So this is a very, very great opportunity for each and every Sinhalese and Tamil to refresh this unity, this inter-race, inter-ethnic harmony on each other. And I know then how they exchange food. Tamil has the different kind of food, and the Sinhala has different way of making food. And they exchange this different taste. And I remember how they send food from south to north and north to south. And they have different tradition of exchanging these kind of gift among north and south.
Okay. Yes, before I go to the next question, next topic in our discussion, Bhante, would you remind the society in brief, when we reflect on the last couple of years, our country economy, we had a lot of distraction, right? So, because we are at the threshold of New Year, and we can still see how people are, the quarreling each other due to the political, the political parties, between the political parties, and because on the political ideas, right? So, would you like to give kind of remind how we can, be united, and how we can escape this difficult period of time in the country as a unity, as a nation to develop our country?
Yeah, Venerable Sir, actually that's a very kind of like tongue-twisting question, but still, if we go back to the roots of the problem, that poverty is the major problem. That we have to understand that our country, that means Sri Lanka, is everybody experienced this poverty and it became very unsuccessful in many ways. So then, the one of the major thing that people need to understand, when the day that the people start to believe themselves rather than going behind somebody else and believing somebody else will appear and will do something for the country and the country going to become successful after this person come, if they believe that it's not going to work. If the people start to believe themselves without going behind anybody, and that day that people going to become successful. And at the same time that the political leaders, what we see around nowadays, because the election keep coming, right? And no any party like this way going to build the country, because each other kind of like treat them like enemies. It that way it's not going to become successful. So if the people start to believe on people, if the people trust people rather than somebody beyond the people, and that is the day I think any country can become successful. And we are living in 2024 here, and this is the latest when it comes to human civilizations. And more than any other time, we have the human history, human experience, and resources, information, knowledge, wisdom. We are capable to do a lot of things, and we have a lot of educated people. And only thing is, if the people start to trust people, believe people, and take care of people, because when it comes to the Buddha's teaching even, the people, take care of people is the most important part. And so when it comes to the society, if we believe ourselves and if we believe the people, trust the people, I think that is going to be the foundation for themselves to become successful. So it is very important when it comes to this kind of time period. In this new year, I think it gives us a very good opportunity when we look at the human history, the countries like Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Japan, and they had a kind of like the very bad experience, disaster. But look how they came back.
With that wonderful statement, so we have come to the the last session of this wonderful discussion on the New Year. Yes, as we talk about the New Year Day and customs related to the New Year, so there are a number of customs related to the after New Year, right? For example, we know the oil applying, Hisatel and looking at the new moon, and also the working, going to work, right? So all those things. Bhante, yes, if I come to you, is there any spiritual or any psychological values in those customs? Would you like to explain anything?
Yes, of course, Venerable. Each and every these collective rituals and the collective effort they are making during New Year obviously make a psychological impact. As I reminded you earlier, we are collective human beings. But in a very recent past, within this 50, 70 years, we start to mistrust each other, the neighbors, and we are very, scattered. So there's all these rituals, the collective effort, making us psychological well-being. So we always have to think about, we are so-called human because we have mind. So everything happens to our mind will reflect in our physical, mental, social and spiritual health. So we have to, we should not ever forget that these four health are separate from each other. They all are interconnected. Your physical health matter to your psychological health. Your psychological health matter to your social health, your social relationship, and your social health matter to the spiritual health. So these 4 clusters, even WHO say the same thing. Even the Buddhist scripture, I think very, very, very famous saying is Arogya Paramalabha Santutti Paramandanam Vissasa Paramanyati Nibbanam Paramasukam. Oh, these also the 4 clusters of health. So these all help each other, and the most important is psychological health. We all are in a crisis of mental health crisis. Everyone are going through after the pandemic and after the war, all have this trauma, a lot of pressure, stress, anxiety, depression is like a common cold and cough. Everyone is affected by each other. To overcome from this stress, anxiety, depression, all kind of the DSM-4 or the ICD-10 of the psychological term, they define the mental health issues. The way of reducing, anyone can be their own therapist. So we have to find our own way of therapy. We need to maintain, just like you maintain your mobile phone, you recharge your cell phone. So nowadays we charge once a day or twice a day. In the same way, we need to recharge our life. These 4 clusters: your physical battery, your mental battery, your social battery, and your spiritual batteries. The health, I call it batteries. So you need to recharge yourself, plug again and again. So this new year, recharge all these 4 clusters of health together, and it brings you psychological well-being, because we are consuming a lot of junk. Physically, we are consuming a lot of junk, and also the information. Nowadays, information is free. If you go to internet, everything is free. But problem is, how do we handle your emotions? We can see a lot of gun violence in America, right? If you get angry, just buy a gun and just shoot on the innocent people in school. Once in a week, we hear that it's a mass gun shooting. Why they do that? If you cross-check their biography, 99.9 they don't have a good relationship in their past. Even recently there were Sinhalese issues, and one Sinhala massacre happened in Canada. If you check his background, he didn't have a good relationship with their caretakers, with their parents. So if you lose those connections, we are human beings, we are bound for connection. If you don't know how to learn to feel others' pain, empathy, sympathy, then how do you sustain your emotion? So emotional health is very, very important nowadays. So these rituals will in charge all the batteries of your health, especially your psychological health.
Right. Yes, finally, Bhante, ending one year and beginning of another year is the time pass, right? Yes, would you like to quote some teachings from Buddhist scriptures to end this discussion? Both of the Bhantes can quote some Buddhist scriptures, Buddhist teachings from the Buddhist scriptures regarding how the time pass, and how should we reflect on this particular matter according to the Buddhist teaching?
Yes, very precise question you made. Yes, I would like to say that, living in the present moment, we are so much distracted by this enormous infodemic informations. We are in duality. We are just like bipolar disordered human beings. Either we are in the extreme past or extreme future. If you go extreme past, you become depressed. You become guilty about yourself, guilty about others. Depressed. If you go extreme to the future, you become anxious, worry. So rather going to extreme past the future, just be in the present moment. And also you have extreme like and extreme dislike, extreme desire and extreme anger. This is another bipolar. And the third one is extreme alienation, extreme selfishness, and extreme otherness. You say, I am different from others. As Ven.Rajagiriye mentioned, no, we all are interconnected. We are breathing same air on the same sun and same moon. So you can if you be mindful, practice, I say MNM, mindfulness per hour or per minute. You can do mindfulness breathing 1 minute per hour. That will, mindfulness a day keep your dukkha away. So if you practice mindfulness just 1 minute or 5 minutes per day, your dukkha will reduce because you will not live in those dualities, those bipolars, extreme past or future, extreme self for others, or extreme desire or extreme anger. You are so equanified. You are grounded, you have upeksha. No matter what's come to you, you have the capacity to see the reality as it is. It's called upekha. See things closely. You don't worry. Although New Year pass, the flowers fades away, your clothes fades away, your relationship fades away, but you can still stand still. Just like looking at the toys. We love toys, right? When you are small, in New Year we get a lot of toys, gift. When you were small, what happened? Do you remember when your toys were taken away or broken by someone, your siblings or brothers? We often cry, right? I remember, I had a gun, a pistol, when I was a kid, and one of my cousins, broke it down in pieces. And I cried for many days just for the toys. And my father told me, why you are crying, boy? I will give you more 2 or 3 toys. At the time, there is no, the toy house, toy shop. So we have to wait for another festival to come to buy the toy. I cried in such a way because I didn't understood the toy is impermanent. The toy can fade away. But now we can understand, toy is nothing. In the same way, life is impermanent, it's changing, or beyond our control. But we can be harmony with this impermanence. So that's the message I want to give. Be mindful and be grounded to the present moment.
Yeah. So I hope this wonderful discussion will be able to enhance your knowledge about the New Year traditions, customs. So with the firm and the firm determination to achieve our spiritual goal, and also your day-to-day life goals, ambitions in your life. Let us begin the new year with such a higher purpose in our life. With that message, I would like to conclude our discussion here today by the power of the qualities of the Buddha, by the power of the qualities of the Dharma and Sangha. May you be well, happy and healthy. May you be able to have a physical and spiritual successful new year, and also may you be able to achieve your spiritual and all other ambitions in your life, and happy new year. Subalu Tauruddak Veva.
To catch the full program and more, subscribe to MMC TV USA on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok